Little loser Donald can't take any distractions while he's publicly speaking, which today led to this awkward interaction with a baby.
It's a tenant of mine in New York, the biggest in the world, a Chinese bank. Don't worry about that baby. I love babies. So, I love babies. I hear that baby crying. I like it. What a baby. What a beautiful baby. Don't worry. Don't worry. The mom's running around like, don't worry about it, you know. It's young and beautiful and healthy, and that's what we want. Okay, but look. China, when China devalues its currency, they take our guts out.
A few moments later.
We have the piggy bank. They have ripped us to shreds. Ripped us absolutely to shreds. Actually, I was only kidding. You can get the baby out of here. That's all right. Don't worry. I think she really believed me that I love having a baby crying while I'm speaking. That's okay. People don't understand.
That was a weird transition there. Wow, we just got a very quick view into what being married to him for all those years was actually like. Oh yeah, the baby's beautiful. Get the fucking baby out of here.
Yeah.
Get rid of the baby.
All those lovely speeches that his kids gave during the RNC must have been very, truthful and honest and sincere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he was a great, loving father who never lost his temper with them and only nurtured and loved them.
He's the best.
He's a terrible person. Like, everything about him is terrible. I mean, what more does he need to do? Does he need to throw a puppy off a bridge to prove to Americans that he would be a disastrous president?
If he threw a chihuahua off a bridge, he'd go up 2 points.
Among his Republican base,
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
I saw a great tweet that was, it was Trump campaign spokesman. Oh, we're doing terribly amongst women. What should we do? Oh, let's say that they're responsible for sexual harassment and then kick a baby out of the room.
Yeah.
So here's why I think that that's interesting. Not that, look, I find babies, I was going to say sometimes annoying. I find them generally annoying, especially in planes. But I'm not a politician. And what this gets to is not just that he's kind of a bad guy, but that he actually does come up really short in some of the easiest, most obvious things you need to have to be a politician. So even in his comments, there were 2 places where he could have ended it and he would have been totally fine. That first section about, oh, it's a baby, it's a great baby, we love babies, what a healthy baby. If he'd ended there, that's like folksy and charming. Everybody would have been fine with that. A couple minutes later, he says, I was just joking, get that baby out of here. If he then said, I'm kidding, that's funny, that's folksy and charming again. But he was seriously saying, this broad thinks I want a baby talking over me?
But
You lose everybody.
Okay, A, Donald Trump wouldn't know how to come off as folksy and charming if he wanted to. And B, we know that that's not who he is. We know that he's this self-absorbed guy who will stomp on anything and anyone to get what he wants, right? Yeah. And the fact that he had that reaction to a baby crying is kind of pathetic. But what I found even more pathetic was how many people clapped at his reaction.
Yeah.
As if what he did or what he said was acceptable. I mean, look, I get it. Sometimes you're in a situation where there's a baby crying and you get frustrated, but adults know that in some cases, a parent can control the kid. Don't make that parent feel even more uncomfortable.
She supports you.
I know, she's a supporter, exactly. And that's the crazy part about it. I wonder if that interaction convinces her that maybe he's not the best person to lead a country, right?
Probably not.
And that's, by the way, of course, that's not the one and only reason why I think he's not the right person to lead the country. This is among, I feel like, millions of stories we've done about him that show that he doesn't have the right temperament to be a president.
Yeah.
And so, look, another point I just want to bring up is, as much as people hate Hillary Clinton, and I have my issues with her, right? Please stop equating Donald Trump with Hillary Clinton. Stop pretending like they're both the same. They're both the same. They're both terrible. No, one of them is much worse.
Yeah.
And if you deny that, then you're either not being honest with yourself, or you just don't really look into these stories in depth and you just don't want to know the truth.
Yeah. Or even if they're both terrible, they're terrible in different ways.
Yeah.
You should be able to identify the relative terribleness. But yeah, back to the baby. This is pathetic behavior because there's, I think, probably only one of 2 reasons why he reacted the way he did. One is that he saw the size of the baby's hands and he was jealous. The other is that, like with the, there was a fly near him, he's such a small guy with such a short attention span that he can't think about the big picture, that the baby's not mic'd. We could barely hear the baby in that video. And way more people are going to see this once it's televised and actually see it in the room. But he can't just focus on delivering his message. He can't think about the mother. He can't think about anyone other than that he's a little bit irritated and he needs to lash out. And when you are currently down in the polls, anywhere from 1 to 9 points in a couple of these, you can't afford to come off as such a squalling baby yourself, you little loser.
But you know, I mean, the Republican Party is the party of family values. They love babies, right? They're very much pro-life, anti-abortion.
Yeah.
You know, like they can't get enough of babies. They want more babies. More babies, the better. But I mean, just look at the way he treats a child that's crying during his ridiculous speaking event, or whatever he was talking about.
Classic
Anyway.
loser Donald.